welcome back to the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel, where today I do have my preview, prediction and everything you need to know ahead of Hull City versus Watford at the MKM Stadium, which will be Ruben Sayers' first game in charge of the Tigers. The new era starts yet again as Ruben Sayers took charge of the club Monday in Cottingham at the training ground and will take his first game in charge of Hull City at the MKM Stadium. First game in charge of Hull City full stop on tomorrow night in the Championship clash against Watford at home. A high-flying Watford, of course, they had their game postponed at the weekend, which means they haven't played in near enough 10 days. So whether that could mean good things or bad things for the Hornets, we will wait and see. But let's break down with our injury update. So it's a bit of an unknown reason why both Xavier Simons and Alfie Jones were missing from Saturday's fixture against Blackburn Rovers at the MKM Stadium. We now know a little bit of an injury issue, nothing too much to worry about. Alfie Jones, though, that was his the end of his 44th consecutive championship appearances, as he missed out on Saturday, and Simons as well has missed out after really thriving under Tim Walter, and hopefully can do the same under Ruben Sayers. Alfie Jones apparently felt his calf in training and wasn't ready to risk it, and Simons tweaked his hamstring, but neither of them are expected to be out for too long, and neither of their injuries are expected to be too severe. Where we will already be missing Liam Miller, Mohamed Baloumi, Carl Rushworth, and obviously Oscar Zambrano is still out. Start with his ban. We will still be with Louis Coyle. Sorry, I was going to be without Louis Coyle. We're still with Louis Coyle, as he hasn't picked up his 5th yellow card of the season yet, and he will not face suspension now if he picks up another one because of the cut-off date due to that. So Louis Coyle managed to avoid disaster there. So, let's move into my Hull City predicted starting 11, powered by friends over at Fanhub. If you do not know what Fanhub is, what are you doing? It's a fantastic free app where you get rewarded for being a football fan for free. You don't have to be a fan of Hull City, you can be a fan of any club. Just download the app, use my link in the description, use my golden ticket code HUL-IZR. You'll let you bypass the queue, you get into that app nice and early, and you also get rewarded for using my code, so why would you not do it? It's a fantastic app. You get to predict your own team starting lineup, check in at games, keep up to date on all of the news around your squad, and plenty more. And you get free rewards such as football tickets, football shirts, beers, all sorts of goodness like that, just for free for being a fan of your club. So why would you not get it? So, it's a bit of an interesting one to predict what Ruben Sayers will go for his first team in charge. I've gone for a bit of a mismatch of what we saw him do at Reading most recently, and then also some of the players that are currently performing quite highly at City. So yeah, let's try and predict what we think Sayers' first team in charge of City will be. So, Panda in net. It'll be stupid not to keep the man who is in form, who is flying high, literally in between the sticks for City. Back four, I believe, to be a key component of the back four would be a Cody Drama. But then you don't really want to get rid of your skipper as soon as the manager comes in, as new manager comes in, sorry. So I think that Louis Cole will stay in and Cody Drama will be a substitute at some point during the game, just to replace legs and that sort of thing. But then back to in the central bits of Alfie Jones and Charlie Hughes. And over on the other side, Ryan Giles. And I think this upturn in City's form that could possibly happen under Ruben Sayers will basically because Ryan Giles is now back. He will be back in that thriving position that we brought him in for, in the wing back role. Sayers likes to play his full backs as wing backs, which Ryan Giles is a wing back. Of course, it could change, and also as we have had through the press conference yesterday. If you didn't see my video yesterday, go and check it out where I reacted to Ruben Sayers' first interview and gave you a bit of an insight onto what that could mean for his future at Hull City. But I think that Ryan Giles will be one of the key players to thrive under the new Spanish boss. Ahead of that, a returning Xavier Simons, as I think that he'll return to the CDM role, alongside a partnership of Regan Slater and Casey Palmer. Casey Palmer, who has been fantastic in his start against Blackburn and was a shock to get subbed off as early as he did to a few boos around the stadium. And ahead of that, Abu Kamara, Ryan Longman, and up top, João Pedro. Is to note that with the wing-back situation, Ruben Sayers doesn't really like to play with wingers, but I think that you can't really risk sticking on two strikers at the moment. Maybe you could make an argument for Mason Burstow or somebody along that capacity. But I think with the current situation and with the current quick turnaround that Ruben Sayers has got, I think that he wouldn't be. I think that he could possibly go with a Ryan Longman and Abu Kamara out wide again. So, some other news. It has been confirmed that Ruben Sayers will be given a big cash pot in this January transfer window, as Adjan El-Jali has come out saying that he will be prepared to basically allow Ruben Sayers to sign anyone he wants. Of course, we can suspect that there will be some players from Sayers' former club, Reading, on his transfer targets, and that already has been. And I'll probably go through them as we near to the January transfer window. And then there's some other juicy possible transfer signings to come. So a very interesting time for Ruben Sayers in charge of City. Of course, just taking charge and getting a big cash pot for the January transfer window. A little bit of news on Steven Alzate, as he returned to the Tigers squad off the bench on Saturday. He put out on Instagram, back at it, the season starts now, #UpTheTigers. So a nice little snippet from Steven, who is back from injury and hoping to thrive under the new boss. So, last meetings between both sides. Hull City Watford. It's been a bit of a bore affair between both sides. If you want to go back and roll back the years, it's been quite a few sort of 1-0 wins or 0-0 draws. Most memorable meeting probably being the last time Watford came to the MKM Stadium there, where we managed to suffer due to Ryan Alsop not able to stop a halfway line goal from one of the Watford players. So certainly a memory to forget for a City fan, I must say. So form-wise, of course, it's all red for City. Lost the last 6 games consecutive. Winless in the last 11, 12 games, it must be. And then obviously I said Watford are quite flying high. There's a few good results. Of course, they haven't played in 10 days since that QPR game, as their game against Cardiff was called off due to the weather. But they are still flying high. Of course, they do have a game in hand, and due to us losing to Blackburn, they did lose out on their spot in the top 6, as Blackburn obviously went in there with having the game advantage. But yeah, a bit of a tale of 2 different teams there. If you want to look, Watford have won 3 times the amount of games the City has, and therefore picked up double the amount of points that City have. So it's a fun little time to be a Tiger fan. But of course, the manager bounce back could be on. But we'll first go through our former Tigers that we will be meeting. Tom Ince. He is now at Watford after leaving Reading, mention it or not. Yeah, leaving Reading after, well, his dad got the boot out of there as well. Of course, former Tiger, had a few little stints at the Tigers. Played quite a handful of games for the Tigers, and of course is now at Watford. And I went for shirt shirts. I had a few different options for this one. I thought I'd go with a recent Watford departure, and that being Jake Livermore. So of course, Jake Livermore, fantastic Tiger. In his period at the Hull City, and then a little stint at Watford as well. So, player to watch out for. I'm just going to say his surname, Bayo, because the first 2 names I'm probably going to butcher. But Bayo has been doing quite well over at Watford this season. In 17 matches, he's managed to record 7 goals, being their top goal scorer out of 13 starts. And he's been doing quite all right, to be fair. This is his 2nd season third season, sorry, at Watford, after having a bit of a weird one where he was at Watford. They loaned him out to somewhere, then they sold him to Udinese, and Udinese then loaned him back to Watford. So a bit of a dodgy situation there, but I won't go into it. But yeah, this season he's recorded 7 goals so far in the campaign. So, score prediction. I think there will be a bit of a manager bounce for City, as we have seen around the place. But then I do think that we are in such a rut as a team that I think it'll be tough to get anything really firing in the Hull City attack. And I'm going to go for the 1-1 draw, thinking the goal for City will come through Casey Palmer. Ruben Sayers is a master on trying to get his attacking players to take perfect shots from outside the box, and we know that Casey Palmer's got a cannon on him and that he is firing from outside the box already. It was unfortunate not to score maybe once or twice on Saturday, so certainly a player that I think will thrive under Ruben Sayers and to grab a goal in this upcoming game against Watford tomorrow night. So I'll leave you with that photo of Adrian Al-Jali as I ask you to let me know down in the comments what your predictions are ahead of this game, who you think will win, what you think the scoreline will be, and if you are looking forward to the era under Ruben Sayers. It all's firing now in the Hull City camp. So make sure that you like and subscribe, as there's plenty more news and content to come through Hull City. I am sure of it, as we will look forward to not only getting out of the relegation zone, getting off the bottom of the table, but also the January transfer window, where there will be some big moves, as always, for Adrian's Turkish Tigers. So I will see you in the next video. Up the Tigers.